Hi guys, welcome to Animation. I'm Arman. I animate 2D characters with spine. In this video, we will be reviewing one of my characters that I animated previously. This is one of the Monster Legends characters. And yeah, I have animated a few dozens of them. And yeah, I think I found a very efficient way to rig those characters. I don't use too many constraints, 2 for feet and very rarely for arms when they carry some weapon. And yeah, that's no constraints, no path constraints, transform constraints. So let's see what we have done with this character. Let me reveal the bones. We can see we have eye keys here that are attached to this rock. My suggestion to not complicate here, to create spine mimicking like natural bones. This will create more complexity while in animation mode. I also don't create mostly the bone for the neck. I mainly disable rotation inheritance for the arm and head and all of the hanging stuff. So you can see the leaves on the head. Compensate the animation of that rotation is really hard. And most of the time, I would like to just go with this way. It's not mandatory. Yeah, it depends what you want and how you used to animate. Let's see a few animation. Let me go from the attack one. We have teleportation. I want to talk about this moment when he puts the feet on the ground. Let's assume we found this pose and I'm deleting this temporarily. So right now you can see it floats with the rock because it is inside of that rock. So what we can do here, either go and create a constraint for this bone and constrain it to the root bone where it will stay there static and then turn off constraint again here. Or we can just go select this bone, hit Ctrl C to copy its transform. You see that it didn't copy the keys, but it copied transform. You need to select the bone and not the timeline. So move the position where you want to copy the bone position, transforms, copy it and go past. It's very easy to do. So now we have very quick process of faking eye key. Sometimes it can still float while in between of those frames. You can go just maybe break the interpolations. So in that case, and let's actually talk about another pose here. You can see the arm is visible here. In the next pose, you don't see the arm actually. So you can see this pose is nice. It has a good silhouette. But the next pose, arm is just disappearing. Find another pose where the arm is still visible because it will be visible naturally. So you can see with these bones, the length of them do not allow me to manipulate. So what you can go and do here, you can go and scale it, but it will scale the rest. So normally what I do, I just go and disable the scaling here and yeah, just scale here and now I can pause it. So this way I still have some kind of perspective and maybe you can see still that arm. Where is it? Let's still show it here. I just wanted to show how you can shorten limbs in perspective without using any complex constraints. I really try hard to not overload the character with constraints. You can see the face is just one bone. There is no constraints. It's an easy way to animate. And what I do normally, apart from moving it, I also scale it. And sometimes I rotate to keep the perspective correct. What else I can tell you? Let's shortly review the finger rig. Most of the time I do the similar way. So you can see that there are no detailed vertices here, only on the joint sides. and when it rotates, it actually breaks, but it's a finger and it doesn't disturb too much. Sometimes it can, like here, but you can change the order here. And yeah, let's see what else I can show you. We have a mouth. It's pretty easy. This bone is located inside this container. So you can see it just moves there. And wherever it moves, I can use the mouth. And yeah, what else I can show you? So you can see this section is a very simple rigging. I mean, few bones, less bones you have here, less time you will spend animating them and more time you will spend animating other. Remember that you also can move it to achieve the result that would give you the other bone. For example, if we have a bone here and this one, and we use those two, instead we can use this one but just move it, so it won't have that rotation here and the arc, but this is a very small detail here, so we don't need that at the moment. Instead we will use one bone. Let's see the other animation. Let's see what I can tell you. And you can see the bottom is moving in the animations. In the briefing I didn't had note about that. Nobody asked me to move the bottom, and it actually was supposed to stay there, so I could even not create an eye key, just move the legs a little bit, and yeah, that's all. So for example, I could go and create a bone here and just attach those legs and move them here. It would be very easy, but I really like to invest time there and create, so I knew that this bone was going to be moved, and for that I will need eye key. My advice is to always think out of the box. So sometimes developers also don't have time to be creative, extra creative, but once you are working with them, it's like your responsibility to do the final checking. So what you can do more creatively, what you can like extend these characters' behavior. So don't go over the line. A character needs to maintain its original design, original purpose, original character, like what emotion it will translate. And if you can enhance with moving some of this, so for example, this is very lightweight character, and every movement it would also move this bottom part. So that's why I invested time there. And you can see even when it goes down, bottom is going with a delay. Cool. I think we talked about everything here. Let's see. Yeah, this is a basic idle. A lot of exaggeration here, but it just matches the style of the game. So nothing to talk about here. Remember the idols should not ever be synchronized. It really easy to fix and improves the quality a lot. Let's see the level up. You can see that here the shoulder actually breaks. What I normally do, I do not rig this portion to the, do not bind this portion to the shoulder. If I did that, when I rotate this up that much, it would squash this portion. So I would need add an eye key here to maintain that muscle groups movement. But instead, you can see what I have here. I just move also the bone, and you can see that mesh remains there. So it is very quick. I don't rig the shoulder part for the body if it allows me to have this movement. I also avoid rigging this part, so I can move it 360 degrees. But again, it's not always the case. You can see also I didn't rig this. These are just images, and this art is perfectly prepared. So sometimes you just receive an art that is very hard to do with this way. So the joints are just not working. And yeah, So let's see what else. Before starting animation, create that pose, see if that works with this character, and maybe exaggerate it here. So, and only after that you can even use this pose as a reference. No need to work from that pose. Like this pose, I worked out this pose before I started animation, and this pose, I had these poses in separate animations, so I can always come back, and this pose. So what I want to say is always look for the poses for that character, because when you are looking for a pose, it's very easy to perfect it. I mean, while you are animating and looking for that pose, it's most of the time you will compromise, because animation is already at some point and it's hard to modify, to achieve, to exaggerate that pose. So find your poses beforehand. Okay, let's see. And this is a prone taking damage animation. It's really not a difficult animation. What I want to say here, you can see that few things that is general for those kind of animation. First thing that you need to understand where the blows go. So if it goes to the chest, it is the first thing that needs to go left. You don't move all the character at the same time, so everything needs to remain static. Only this portion goes back. So chest goes there, drags the head with it. You can see head right now is moving down and not left. So only after that, head, after a few frames going down, and then head will go back, like dragging the whole character with the rock, everything. You can see feet are sliding here. This actually indicates that character lost control over his body. He is barely sitting, and at this moment he gained control over his body. He returns the head to the horizontal viewpoint perspective, so he can see the enemy to deliver counterattack, and recovers the body. And you can see he's already in there and just lands on the rock with some kind of bouncing. Yeah, everything is clear. Let's see the last few animations. Oh, again, you can see that I used the other feet on the ground. You can see I have a lot of frames here, just copy pasting the pose. And let's see, yeah, so this is again a nice pose that I found before even starting animation. And after that, I just worked out the whole animation. So if you find those poses, you get excited and you just want to really animate that, make it real. So great. And again, don't forget to the arms and intentions of the character. So you can see that the crystal is up in the air and it should go down. So you could either go and put him in idle, or he is looking at it with his hand up, and it's kind of, he is dragging the crystal down. Again, in briefing, I didn't have such a description. Nobody told me, hey, the arms should drag the crystal down. But you should understand what character would do in that situation. So the main focus is the crystal. He's looking at it, he is casting some energy, and he wants some fancy way to put it down and then go to idle. What else? What else? Normally, blows happen in 2 frames. The hitting, you can see we have an in-between frame, but clearly it could be like one, like still continuing. Boom. And here I normally add speed lines. We might see it in animation here. So these are the lines, just one image, maybe stretching, but not in this. It is stretching. Cool. I think we are closing things with the walk, but this is easy animation, no walking. Subscribe to see the next review, where I hope we will have feet on the ground and I will explain more with walking. That's it. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye.